By some estimates, more than 1,000 American citizens lost their lives in Puerto Rico as a result of Hurricane Maria on September 17, 2017. Many parts of the island are still dealing with the risk of waterborne illness due to the lack of purified water. Recently, a group of dedicated University of Massachusetts students raised enough money to visit Puerto Rico and bring with them 100 water purification filters to be distributed to those most in need. The students are part of a newly formed club on campus called Sustainability Projects Abroad. Connecting Point's Dave Fraser met with some of the members of the group and shares their story.
Brian Chua is a junior at the University of Massachusetts at Amherst, pursuing a double major in chemical engineering and environmental science. He is also the founder and president of the newly formed Sustainability Projects Abroad Club on campus. The club's mission is to plan and facilitate student-led disaster relief and community development projects to green the campus and serve the world abroad. Recently, a small group of them traveled to Puerto Rico for 12 days to provide aid and relief in the aftermath of Hurricane Maria that struck the island in September of 2017. Their main purpose for the trip was to provide water filtration systems to people in the most remote areas of the island.
We talked about it as a student club, and we decided that we should do something about Puerto Rico. And I had connections with Filter of Hope because I had done an internship with them. So I knew that this is a water filtration device that would be simple to distribute to people there.
With several $1,000s raised from a GoFundMe online campaign, members of the club headed to the island in early January with 100 hollow fiber membrane water filters to distribute. The group partnered with local aid workers and community leaders to survey water quality and train locals on how to use the filters. Some members of the group were Puerto Rican Americans who had families on the island that had been affected by the hurricane.
We didn't have communication with their family for about 5 days. No cell phones at all. They were all down. All of our family had no electricity. My grandmother, and they are both diabetic, didn't have electricity or water, running water, for about 3 months. So when we came back to Puerto Rico, we knew that it was a disastrous scenario, but there was no way to prepare to what we saw. I mean, there were places we used to go to together that we couldn't recognize. The beaches were completely different. Palm trees were all gone.
Usually Puerto Ricans are festive and happy, and they like being outside doing different stuff. But when we went down there, it was like a mixture of sadness and desperation, uncertainty. So you could see it in their faces, including our family. They didn't really have hope, or they didn't know what was going to happen.
There's no electricity, so people live on machines that pump their heart, and so a lot of these people were dying, and nobody was accounting for those in the death count.
We wanted to be very, very intentional about how we distributed water filters. Like, we wanted to go to communities that needed the most help.
The group quickly realized that what they were doing was so much more than just providing families with a way to purify their water. They were also providing emotional support to a region that had felt forgotten.
Most of the time when we got to a house, it was hard to leave because they didn't want to let us go. They wanted to talk to us, explain everything that happened, show us pictures, show us their house.
Every person we talked to, there was a sense of that they were forgotten. For most of the people we visited, we're the first contact of, we're going to help you and we care. And a lot of them, like, they were just giving us stories. It was like almost like therapeutic for both of us. So it was really amazing to see how, like, it's something we helped that we had no idea we were going to be able to do, to give people hope.
According to the group, their mission has only just begun. They are currently looking for long-term partners, sponsors, and volunteers interested in the sustainable community development of Puerto Rico. And they hope to return this summer with a bigger team that can take on long-term projects. They all agree that this first visit was so much more than what it had started out to be, and the impact of their work will stay with them for a long time.
One thing that really amazed me was the spirit of the Puerto Rican people. Even in the face of disaster, people came together and communities supported one another.